Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hope everyone is having a good week. It's starting to turn, which is nice. The leaves are nice to see. I do like to see the leaves turn, but it's getting a little more chilly. And it makes it a little bit more difficult to do if you eat outside of restaurants versus inside of restaurants. So that makes it a little bit more challenging. So we'll just have to go with the flow. And we'll begin with Moda Ani, the prayer that says, I'm going to wake up each and every morning and try to make this world a better place. Matavu, it's the morning. Matavu, bless us this morning. Oh, Hanecha Lena Center, Yaakov our heritage. Mishkinatecha, we are searching, will you show us Israel? We are Israel. Born to sing your praises in your holy, holy spaces. Matovu, bless the morning. Matovu, Matovu, alayich, Sarah Mishkiratayich, Rivka, Rachel, Leah. Born to sing your praises in your holy, holy spaces. Matovu, bless the morning. Matovu. We continue with our daily blessings. And if you don't have one of the prayer book at home that we use at shul, this one, I'm going to hold it up. There we go, that one. And you want to borrow one, just email me, let me know, and I'll hook you up with one. And that would be fine, to do, because I really want you guys to learn the prayers. So just email me. At the end, I'll give you my info, and that's something you want, you let me know, okay? But we'll continue together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan l'sagvivina le'avchin ben yom u'ben layla. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shasani b'tzalmo. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shasani bat chorin. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shasani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Pokeach Ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Malbish Arumim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Matir Asurim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Zokef Kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Roka Aretz al Hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Hamechin Metzadei Gaver. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa li kol tzorki. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten li'ayif koach. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten layav koach. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avir shonai me'ina, utnuma me'afapai. Together we continue with Ashrei. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha, Hod Yehalalucha Selah. Ashrei ha'am shekachalo, Ashrei ha'am she'Adonai Elohav, Tehila leDavid, Haramincha Elohai HaMelech, Arvacha Shimcha le'olam va'ed, B'chol yom avarchecha, V'hala Shimcha le'olam va'ed, Gadol Adonai u'lam me'od, V'likdulato ein chaker, Dor l'dor yishabach ma'asecha, U'gvurotecha yagidu, Hadar keval hodecha, B'divrei niflotecha asicha, Be'ezuz dorotecha yomeru, U'gdulatecha asaprena, Zecher rav tuvcha yabihu, Betzikatecha yiranenu, Chanun v'rachum Adonai, Erech ha'payim u'dachased, Tov Adonai lakol, V'rachamav al kol ma'asav, Yoducha Adonai kol ma'asecha, V'chasitecha yivarchucha, Kivod malchutecha yomeru, Ugvuratecha yidaberu, Lehodia lifnei ha'adam gevuratav, Ukvod adam malchutaho, Malchutecha malchut kol olamim, Umemshaltecha b'chol tor v'ador, Somech Adonai l'chol hanoflim, V'zokef l'chol ha'kefufim, Einei chol elecha yisaveru, Ve'ata noten lahem et achlam v'yitov, Poteach et yadecha, U'masbia l'chol chai ratzon, Tzadik Adonai v'chol derachav, V'chasid v'chol ma'asav, Karov Adonai l'chol korav, L'chol asher yikra'uhu ve'emet, Ritzon yireh v'yachaseh, Ve'et shavatam yishma v'yoshihem, Shomer Adonai et kol ohabav, Ve'et kol shayim yashmiv, Tehilat Adonai yadaber pi, Yivarech kol basar shen kol sholem va'ed, V'anachnu nevarech yah, Netam yad olam, Hallelujah. Hallelujah. continue with the Barak. Barak et Adonai And we continue our service with the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shekilo, Achuton Le'olam Vahed. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'vavtecha b'derech Ushafecha v'kumecha, ukshartam lehot al yadecha, v'hayu letotefot b'neinecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, v'isharecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaKippur HaNorah Elyon Omer Chasadim Tovim V'konei HaKol V'zocher Chasdei Avot U'mevii goel lifnei b'neihem K'van shelo v'ahava Melech Ozer Ufoked Umoshia Umagen. Baruch Atah Adonai. Mayin Avraham. Ufoked Sarah. Atagi Bor Le'elam Adonai. Mechayim Mitim Etarav Lohoshia. Mashiva Ruach Umorira Gashem. Mechakel Chaim V'Chesed. Mechayim Mitim V'Rachamim Rabim. Tomek Noflim V'Rofech Olim. Umatir Hasurim. Umekayim Emunato Lishenei Afar. Michamocha V'Gevurot. Umito Melach. Melech Meimih. Mechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman atah l'chayot metim Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hametim. Hu oseh shalom v'rama Hu yaseh shalom So, if anyone's ever studied Talmud, you know that the way that a lot of it is set up is in Eastern thought. So, like for instance, the tractate that talks about lighting Shabbat candles also talks about Hanukkah candles. Even though Shabbat has nothing to do with Hanukkah, the link is candles. Like it's just like it's like if the brain goes on different tangents to make different connections. So I share this with you because I kind of did that this week. All right, so I started out with the Torah portion, and then I found something that I wanted to share with you, which doesn't have to do with the Torah portion, but it has to do with blessings and what I'm originally going to talk about. So let me get started. Okay, so this is Noah. We know it's Noah's Ark, that whole story. And one of the most famous things about that, one of the most famous things, is the rainbow. But it's interesting. It's one. There's a blessing. You know, it's not just that God created a rainbow to signify that God won't destroy the world again. There's actually a specific blessing when you say rainbow, and I wanted to share that with you. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit about rainbows, and then you'll see where my tangent goes. All right. So blessing on a rainbow. Rainbows are deeply symbolic in Judaism. After the flood in Genesis, God says that a rainbow is a remember of his promise never again to destroy the world with a flood. The rabbis of the Talmud were in agreement that one should say a blessing when seeing one, though they disagreed on just what that blessing is. The solution was to combine two blessings in one, and this is the traditional text of a rainbow. It's Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zocher habrit v'ne'eman berito v'kayam b'ma'amaro. Blessed are you, God, our God, King of the universe, who remembers the covenant and is faithful to God's covenant and keeps God's promise. Okay, so it's not an easy one that just slips off your tongue, you know, kind of thing. But when you do see a rainbow, just know there is a blessing for it if you want to look it up and have it with you, or just say, you know, thank you, God, for creating this rainbow, that you will never destroy the world again. So I found the blessing. I needed to look up the blessing because I didn't remember all of it. And I found it under a website that is titled, a paper that's titled 8 Jewish Prayers You've Never Heard of. And the rainbow was one of them. So I wanted to share some of the other ones in this paper with you. So this way you can, now you've heard of them, okay, kind of thing. So let's see. The blessing of the sun, S-U-N, so the sun. The blessing of the sun, Birkat HaChama, is arguably the rarest blessing in all of Judaism, recited once only every 28 years, when per the Talmud, the sun is at the precise spot in the firmament as it was when it was created. So the only time you get to do this prayer is once every 28 years. So I'm not sure what year we're on. I'd have to look that up a little further, but don't miss it, kind of thing. And the text is, blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, maker of the works of creation. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oseh ma'aseh v'reshit. So that's the blessing for the sun. This one I thought was interesting. Never heard of. Been a rabbi for a long time. Never heard of this one. The other one I've heard of. Prayer for a confusing dream. That's kind of weird, but we all have confusing dreams. Okay, so let's see what it says here. According to the Talmud, one who has a dream that he does not understand should recite a prayer asking for clarity. The prayer is to be said during the time of the priestly benediction. That's a prayer over the children. The full text is laid out, and I'm just going to read it. It's kind of long. I'm going to read the translation to you. It says, Master of the universe, I am yours and your dreams, and my dreams are yours. I dreamed a dream and I do not know what it is. Whether I have dreamed of myself, whether my friends have dreamed of me, or whether I have dreamed of others. If the dreams are good, strengthen them and reinforce them like the dreams of Joseph. And if the dreams require healing, heal them like the bitter waters of Mara by Moses, our teacher, and like Miriam from her leprosy, and like Hezekiah from his illness, and like the bitter waters of Jericho by Elisha. And just as you transformed the curse of Balaam, the wicked, into a blessing, so transform all of my dreams for me for the best. It's a little wordy, but that's an interesting one. I just found that interesting. I never heard that before. Here's one I've heard of, but haven't seen in a while. Thought I'd share. Blessing on seeing a wise man. And I'd like to think this is also, we can translate this as blessing as seeing also a wise woman. And it says, blessed are you, God, King of the universe, who has imparted wisdom to those that fear you. And so there's that blessing. It's Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shechalak mi chachmo lira. I'm not sure, hold on. Lirahav. There you go. And then we have the blessing of the rainbow, which we know. This one is interesting. I've never heard of it. Blessing on seeing an unusual creature. What does that mean? Let's see. Jewish law prescribes the recitation of a blessing upon seeing an unusual person or animal, though there is a wide range of opinions over just what kind of animal qualifies. According to Jewish legal codes, this includes an albino, someone who is of short stature, an extremely tall person, a monkey, and an elephant. Okay, I didn't write it, okay? So it's blessed are you, God, our God, King of the universe, who makes creatures different. Misha habriot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Misha habriot. And there's a few more in here and stuff, but those are the ones that I thought were interesting that I wanted to share. So we started out with the Torah portion, went a little bit off the Torah portion. But one of the things that one of my teachers taught me said, a lot of times you're never going to remember all of these different prayers. So what do? He says, here's the formula. You just say the first 6 words together, and then there's a 7th word that, if you can't remember the prayer, do this. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Wow. Wow can signify all sorts of things. Wow, look at that beautiful rainbow. Wow, look at that thunder and something that's unusual. Just depending on the kind of how you say the word wow. I remember someone doing the prayer when the Hurricane Katrina came around, and we watched this on TV. And I just, I had a friend who, said Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Wow, like wow, just couldn't believe what was happening. So if you can't remember a prayer, can't access it, that's one way of doing it. So anyway, all right, my friends, we're going to end with the Misha Barak blessing. And then I'll give you all of my information. And if you want a prayer book to borrow from the synagogue, just email me and I'll make sure you get one. Okay, I'll give you the information now since we're talking about it. So my email is daron, DAARON, at ansheemet.org. So, like I said, throw me an email if you want a prayer book, if you have any suggestions or any ideas or things that you'd like to see in this service. And I thank you for joining me today. Shabbat shalom to everyone. Shabbat shalom, everyone. I will see you again next week, and I hope I will see you live, sooner than later, hopefully. If we can only wish. All right, have a good Shabbat.